Okay, today I'm going to demonstrate how to break through boards. A lot of people don't know this about me, even some of the guys I've known for a year and a half, but I used to do martial arts for about 2 years when I was 16 and 17. And whenever you went into a competition, you actually had to enter into 2 events to actually join the competition. So along with sparring, I picked to do breaking because for one thing, I'm not very good with weapons. I'd end up hurting myself, and forms and stuff just not for me. There's 3 different things that really you got to do to actually break boards. You got to know the setup, and you have to know the technique that you're going to use, and then a good stance, pretty much. The setup really is what I have right now is just 4 1-inch boards. They have spacers between them, and if you ever watch anybody that actually breaks competitively, they actually do have spacers in between them. If you ever watched it on ESPN or actually went to a competition, it's usually hard plastic pieces that have adhesive on both sides so that the boards actually stick to it. But I don't just randomly carry spacers around with me, so I actually use just glue and like a stack of nickels. And they're usually about a ½ inch apart. Like I said, 1-inch boards. The next thing that you got to think about is the technique that you want to use to break it. Obviously, you know, everybody knows you can punch, you know, the kick, and then pretty much 3 techniques: the punch, kick, and then a chop. And I'm not going to do the punch, you know, it's kind of generic, kind of original, just, you know, really not for me. A kick, I'm not doing a kick because for one thing, I'm not nearly as flexible as I used to be. And another thing is it's a little bit easier to miss the middle of the boards and either hit the people holding it or their fingers. You know, I've seen people have their fingernails split open and stuff, and people kicking them, getting smashed between boards. And then there's a chop, and there's 2 different types of chops really. You got a soft hand, which is, you know, like the judo chop sort of thing, you know, with this side of your hand. And then you actually have another type, which is, it's called a ridge hand strike, which is with the inside of your hand, which is the one I'm going to be using. You can do it 2 different ways. They actually set it up on stands to where you can actually strike more downward on the boards like this, or you can have people holding it straight out so that it's more of a horizontal strike, which is that's what I'm going to do. It's not really, obviously not a very practical strike to use. I mean, you know, I've never seen anybody in a fight unless they've just had years and years and years of experience hit somebody with this part of their hand. You know, it's not very practical, doesn't work out very well, but it's actually, what it's meant for is self-defense, you know, dodge a punch, hit him in the throat with that side of your hand. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the stance. And there's actually pretty much the stance of myself and the people holding the board. And I actually need Luke and Clint to get up here now. The stance of the people holding it is actually one of the most important parts, really, because if they don't hold it sturdy enough and they actually give with it, all it ends up doing is really just hurting my hand. I've seen people dislocate their thumbs, you know, split it open. Because with the ridge hand, you really do got to make sure that bone of your thumb is tucked underneath there, or that's the first point that's going to hit it. The way they're going to hold it is, I'm going to show you guys this. I'll come back here and hold it this way. They're both going to hold it just about like that. And what they got to do is they got to lock out their elbows, because if they don't do that, whenever you actually hit it, you know, then obviously their elbows gives, and you know, it's not a solid thing for me to hit, and all it does is just make it harder for me to pass through them all. They also got to kind of widen your legs out a little bit, obviously just back to the point to where you want it real sturdy to hit it. And now my stance, really you want to actually get, you know, your feet spread about shoulder length apart, and you want to get to where you know that you're going to hit it right in the middle. And this is the strike I'm going to do, like I said, a ridge hand. I'm going to hit right here. Or I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 practice swings, and I'm going to go on the 3rd one. So just hold it straight, lock out your elbows. And just like that, there's nickels everywhere, so if anybody wants any money, there you go. And it's not so bad. A lot of it is practice and technique. You got to kind of condition your hands to do it, just because of the fact that obviously that is kind of a bony part of your hand. You will bruise your hand or break your bone. I haven't had as much practice. I did make sure that I did do 4 of them this weekend to make sure I could still do it. I didn't want to get up here and try to demonstrate how to do something and not be able to do it. That wouldn't work out very well at all. So today I talked about, you know, how to break through boards, starting with the setup, the technique you want to use, and then the stance and the follow through, obviously. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Nice.